Money is one of those things that can either make you feel completely free or completely trapped. But here's the thing, it's not about the money itself. It's about how we think and feel about it. Most people believe their financial situation is a result of external factors, their job, their education, the economy, but what if the real source is something you can't see? What if money isn't just numbers in a bank account, but an energy that responds to your inner world? We all know people who work hard, grind every day, and still can't seem to get ahead financially. And then there are those who seem to attract money effortlessly, almost like it's a natural consequence of their being. What's the difference? It's not luck, it's not talent. It's a completely different relationship with money. They understand something that goes beyond hard work. Let's start with clarity. If you don't know exactly what you want, how can you expect to get it? Vague wishes like, "I want more money," don't work. The universe doesn't respond to confusion. You need to get specific, not just in terms of numbers, but how does having that money change your life? What are you doing with it? What kind of person are you when you have it? You need to see it as if it's already happening. The clearer your vision, the more powerful you become at attracting money into your life.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But clarity is only one piece of the puzzle. What's going on in your head? Most people are walking around with deep, unconscious beliefs about money that sabotage them without even realizing it. Maybe you believe that money is hard to get, or that you're not worthy of wealth. Or maybe you've been taught that rich people are greedy. Every time you think about money, these subconscious beliefs shape your reality. Can you see how dangerous that is? Here's a challenge: the next time you think about money, notice how you feel. Do you feel anxious? Scared? Do you feel like there's never enough? If so, that's what you're projecting into the world. That's the energy you're sending out, and that's what's coming back to you. You have to shift this. You have to start believing that money is not a struggle, that it can flow to you easily, and that you are completely deserving of it. The mind is a powerful thing. When you believe that something is possible, your brain starts working on ways to make it happen. You start noticing opportunities that were always there, but you were too blind to see because you were stuck in a negative mindset. So what are you waiting for? Start changing those beliefs. Take control of them instead of letting them control you. Now, let's talk about action. And no, we're not talking about grinding yourself into the ground. We're talking about aligned action. What's the difference? Aligned action feels good. It feels exciting. It's the kind of action you take when you're inspired, and it pulls you forward with momentum. It's not forced. It's not just doing something for the sake of doing it. People often think they can just sit back and wait for money to magically appear. That's not how this works. You need to show up in the world in a way that matches your intentions. If you're serious about manifesting money, you need to act like it. But acting like it doesn't mean working harder, it means working smarter. It's about doing things that are in harmony with the version of yourself that already has the money. Imagine you've already received the money you're trying to manifest. How does that version of you act? What choices do you make? Where do you spend your time and energy? Now, start making those decisions today. When you behave as if you've already achieved your financial goals, you align your energy with abundance, and the universe responds. You're not faking it, you're stepping into a new reality. But here's where people get stuck. They want money, but their actions are still driven by fear, scarcity, and doubt. They take action, but it's the wrong kind of action. It's action that pushes money away instead of attracting it. For example, if you're constantly stressed about money and making decisions out of fear, you're sending out the wrong signal. You're reinforcing the idea that there's never enough, and that's what comes back to you. So, start paying attention to your actions. Are they in alignment with abundance, or are they coming from a place of fear? If you truly believed that money was going to flow to you, how would you act differently? What risks would you take? What opportunities would you pursue? It's time to stop letting fear dictate your choices. And here's something that might surprise you: the universe doesn't work on your schedule. You can't force things to happen when you want them to. You have to trust that the right opportunities will come at the right time. It won't always make sense, and it won't always be convenient, but when you surrender control and stop trying to force things, you open up space for magic to happen. So you've gotten clear on what you want, you've started aligning your actions, and now, the most important part: you have to be open to receiving. This sounds simple, but most people have a really hard time with it. They don't think they deserve it, or they feel guilty when money comes easily. They push it away without even realizing it. Ask yourself, are you comfortable with receiving? Think about the last time someone tried to give you something, whether it was a gift, a compliment, or help. Did you accept it graciously, or did you brush it off? If you're not comfortable receiving small things, how can you expect to receive big things like money and success? There's this belief that if money comes too easily, it's not deserved. This is nonsense. Money is just energy, and when you're in alignment with it, it will flow to you naturally. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. The reason it feels hard is because we've been conditioned to believe that it should be. But let me ask you something: who benefits from that belief? Who benefits from you thinking that money has to be a grind? The answer is no one. That belief keeps you small. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you from fully stepping into your power as a creator. Once you're ready to receive, the next step is to circulate that energy back out into the world. You can't hold on to money tightly and expect more to flow in. The more you give, the more you'll receive. This doesn't mean you have to give away all your money, but it does mean being generous with your time, your energy, and your resources. The universe loves a generous heart. When you give freely, without expectation, you create a flow of abundance that comes back to you tenfold. And finally, as you move through these stages, think about the legacy you want to leave. What kind of impact do you want your wealth to have? How can you use it to create positive change in the world? Because here's the truth: money is not just for you. It's a tool for making a difference. It's a tool for creating the life you want, not just for yourself, but for others. Now, here's where things get really interesting. You've done the work. You've gotten clear on what you want. You've aligned your actions, and you've opened yourself up to receiving. But now comes the hardest part for most people: letting go. I'm talking about trusting the process without trying to control every little detail. This is the stage where most people lose their momentum. They start to doubt. They panic. They try to force things to happen faster. But here's the truth: you can't rush the universe. You can't force things to happen before their time. The timing of your manifestation is not up to you. And that's a hard pill to swallow. We live in a world of instant gratification, where we expect to see results right away. But real wealth, the kind that lasts, doesn't work like that. It's a process, and sometimes the biggest shifts happen when it seems like nothing is happening at all. This is where you have to trust. Trust that the seeds you've planted are growing, even if you can't see them yet. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring everything into alignment for you. You might not see the full picture right now, but that doesn't mean things aren't moving. In fact, the most powerful transformations often happen in the quiet spaces, in the moments where you're forced to let go and surrender. Now, most people hear the word surrender and think it means giving up. But it's not about giving up. It's about releasing your attachment to the outcome. It's about letting go of the need to control how and when things happen. When you're constantly obsessing over the how, you're actually blocking the flow of abundance. You're telling the universe that you don't trust it to deliver what you want. And guess what? If you don't believe it's coming, it won't. You have to let go of the need to know every detail. You have to trust that the universe has a bigger plan for you than you could ever come up with on your own. And sometimes that means things will unfold in ways you didn't expect. Sometimes the money will come from a completely unexpected source. Sometimes the opportunity you've been waiting for will show up in a way that looks nothing like what you imagined. But if you're too focused on controlling the outcome, you'll miss it. So here's a question: can you trust the universe enough to let go of control? Can you allow things to unfold in their own time and in their own way, even if it doesn't look like what you expected? Because that's the real test. It's easy to trust when things are going exactly how you want them to. But can you trust when things are uncertain? Can you trust when you don't know the how or the when? When you release control, you create space for miracles to happen. You open yourself up to possibilities that you couldn't have planned for. And that's when the magic really starts. That's when you start to notice things falling into place effortlessly. That's when you start to see opportunities and resources showing up in ways you never could have predicted. But here's the thing: the universe doesn't respond to neediness. It responds to flow. It responds to ease. The more you can relax into the process and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, the faster things will manifest. It's like trying to hold on to water. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you allow yourself to relax and trust, that's when the flow begins. Once you've mastered the art of trust and letting go, the next step is to act with purpose. This is where you stop thinking about money as something you need or want, and start thinking about it as a tool for creating the life you truly desire. And here's the secret: the more you focus on the impact you want to have, the more money will flow to you. It's not about chasing money for the sake of having money. It's about aligning your financial goals with a deeper sense of purpose. What are you going to do with the money you manifest? How are you going to use it to improve your life and the lives of others? When your financial goals are tied to something bigger than yourself, the universe responds with even greater abundance. Think about the legacy you want to leave. What kind of impact do you want to make in the world? When you start thinking beyond your own needs and start focusing on how you can contribute to the greater good, money becomes a natural byproduct. It flows to you because you've shifted your focus from scarcity to service. But here's an important truth: purpose doesn't mean sacrifice. You don't have to give up your own dreams or desires in order to make a positive impact. In fact, the opposite is true. The more you align with your own joy and passion, the more you'll be able to give to others. When you're living in alignment with your highest self, you naturally attract more abundance, and that abundance allows you to expand your impact. So how do you start acting with purpose? It begins with getting clear on your why. Why do you want to manifest more money? What's the deeper reason behind it? Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's security. Maybe it's the ability to give back to your community or create opportunities for others. Whatever it is, the more connected you are to your why, the more powerful your manifestation becomes. And here's something else: acting with purpose doesn't mean waiting until you have all the money you want before you start making an impact. You can start now with what you have. Maybe it's giving your time. Maybe it's sharing your skills or knowledge. Maybe it's helping someone in a small way. The point is to start circulating that energy now, and as you do, you'll notice that more money starts flowing into your life. Money is energy. It's meant to flow. When you hoard it or cling to it out of fear, you create stagnation. But when you use it with intention, when you circulate it with purpose, you create a cycle of abundance that benefits not just you, but everyone around you. Now let's talk about the final stage: creating a lasting legacy. You've learned how to manifest money. You've aligned your actions, you've opened yourself up to receiving, and you've started using your wealth to make a positive impact. The final step is to create something that endures, something that lasts long after you're gone. This is the stage where you stop thinking about money in terms of what you can get and start thinking about what you can leave behind. What kind of world do you want to create with the resources you've been given? How can you use your wealth to contribute to something greater than yourself? This could mean building a business that aligns with your values. It could mean investing in causes that are important to you. It could mean mentoring others or sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Whatever it looks like for you, the key is to use your money in a way that reflects your deepest values and passions. And here's the thing: when you focus on creating a lasting legacy, money becomes effortless. It stops being something you have to chase, and it starts being something that flows to you naturally. Because you're not focused on the money itself, you're focused on the impact. You're focused on the contribution. And when you're in that space, the universe opens up in ways you can't even imagine. So, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What kind of mark do you want to make on the world? When you start thinking in these terms, you shift from scarcity to abundance. You shift from fear to purpose. And that's when true wealth is created, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Now, go out there and generate the wealth you deserve. You've got everything you need: all the wisdom, all the power, all the tools. The only question is, are you ready to fully step into it? By now, you've started to see how everything is interconnected: your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, and how they all shape the flow of money in your life. But there's one more thing we need to talk about before you can truly unlock your full potential: the deep, often hidden beliefs that hold you back. You see, limiting beliefs about money are like invisible chains. You don't always realize they're there, but they're keeping you stuck. These beliefs are usually ingrained in us from a young age, passed down from our families, society, or even culture. Maybe you grew up hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. Or you have to work hard to get ahead. These ideas get planted in your subconscious, and over time, they shape your entire relationship with money. But here's something that most people don't realize: your beliefs are not facts. They're just thoughts you've repeated so many times that they've become your reality. And the good news is, you can change them. You can challenge them. You can rewrite them. Let's get really specific. What's one belief you have about money that's been holding you back? Maybe it's the idea that you're not good with money. Maybe you believe that no matter how hard you try, there's never enough. Or maybe you think that if you become wealthy, you'll lose friends or be judged by others. Whatever it is, write it down. Look at it. Acknowledge it. Because once you bring these beliefs into the light, they lose their power. Now, ask yourself, where did that belief come from? Was it something you were told by a parent or teacher? Did it come from a personal experience, like losing money in a bad investment? The point here is to identify the source, because once you see where it came from, you can start to let it go. You can start to realize that just because someone else believed it, or because it was true for you in the past, doesn't mean it has to be your belief anymore. Here's a powerful exercise you can do. Take that limiting belief and flip it. Turn it into its opposite. If you've been telling yourself, "I'm bad with money," start affirming, "I'm learning to manage money with ease and confidence." If you've been stuck in the belief that there's never enough, start saying, "There's more than enough to go around, and I am open to receiving it." You don't have to believe it right away. That's okay. The point is to start planting new seeds in your mind. Over time, these affirmations will begin to reshape your thinking. They'll start to take root, and before you know it, you'll start acting from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. But remember, this isn't a one-time thing. Changing your beliefs is a process. It's something you have to commit to over time. Every time you catch yourself falling back into an old, limiting belief, stop, acknowledge it, and then replace it with something more empowering. Slowly but surely, you'll start to notice a shift in how you think, how you feel, and ultimately, how money flows into your life.